Here's a quick update to see how things have changed since we put together that production earlier this afternoon. You can see that boundary there from about Paul's Valley out to Clinton, and watch how quickly it surges southwest. Just over the span of 1 or 2 hours, it's already cleared Lawton and it's already past Frederick. And then on the last frame, we see it there about to cross the Red River towards Vernon and around Burke Burnett, which is north of Wichita Falls. Closer look there at 5:30 p.m. shows the boundary pretty much right there north of Wichita Falls, and we'll just run a quick animation. And it is definitely on the move, and it's about to undercut these storms. So these aren't going to really do much this evening because they are just being plowed under there. We can see the outflow boundary on the velocity. See the very strong east-northeast to west-southwest flow there. And we can see the directional change right there, pretty much identifying that as our outflow boundary. So with fast-moving boundaries like this, it does become very difficult for storms to find a window of severe weather. These are going to be undercut quickly, and they're going to have a little interaction with that boundary, probably producing a brief period of severe weather. So I think it might be very interesting to be there around Quanah. Let me put up the town names. And maybe some roads. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good there. The other play for a day like this would be to go after any dominant targets, such as if this really intensifies and produces a history of severe weather, you might want to shift down there and away from that boundary to the north. Okay, and as far as hazards, just some severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. Now, I think it is going to be undercut pretty quickly, so that may be out of the picture here in about 30 minutes, depending on what happens. And then if that fizzles, our attention would shift down the line. Now, if that boundary were to slow down a little bit, I think we would have much better potential for severe weather. See these cells going up? That boundary is definitely capable of producing forcing to get that convection going. But the problem is, as I mentioned, everything's being undercut and the flow is carrying it out here towards the cold air. So I'm not really too sure if we're going to have much potential after it clears that storm. I think at this point I would be looking maybe further ahead, an hour to 2 hours from now. Maybe the boundary will end up in this area, kind of aligned, something like that. And it should start decelerating a bit since we're kind of losing the cold pool that's pushing it south. So the slower it goes, the better the storm interactions along the length of that. Although these are kind of disorganized right now, so far. Now, as far as movement, one good feature is to go into GR level 2 here, place a marker, take note of the time. You can see it's 22:19 for that dot. Then 22:38, which is 19 minutes later, we see that it's moved about 4.8 miles. So that gives us a motion of about 15 knots. All right, here we are a few minutes later at 5:51. The boundary is slowing down a little bit. It's right in that area there. Let me just stop that on the last frame. And I think we're getting into that window where we may see some brief interaction with this cell here. You can see it's definitely trying there along 287. And it is going to be undercut very quickly. And then we see this cell becoming dominant. That may pull together for a while, and we'll see what happens after that. That would be my next pick after the cell up north. But, you know, it doesn't look all that organized. And velocity showing kind of a weak circulation, just kind of a weak rotation like that. Nothing great. It is not much surprise there. So anyway, slim pickings, but there it is. Maybe something brief will come together. All right, have a good evening, y'all, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.